straight after a 4-game losing skid. They're the leader in the East. The Mavericks beat the Magic 101-92. Dallas has climbed into 9th in the Western Conference, just ahead of Sacramento. The Kings kept pace with a 128-107 win over the Trailblazers. Portland's dropped 2 straight and sits 3.5 games out of a play-in spot. The Thunder beat the Grizzlies 125-104. Oak City on top of the NBA with a 61-12 record. They've won 8 in a row. The Rockets over the Jazz 121-110. Houston second in the Western Conference. They've won 2 straight in 9 of 10. The Bulls nipped the Lakers 119-117. Triple-double for Josh Giddey. The Bulls have won 4 straight in 8 of 10. They're 9th in the East. The Pacers beat the Wizards 162-109. In Miami, the Heat beat the Hawks 122-112. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
This is the sale you've been waiting for. The Macy's Spring VIP sale is here. Exclusive savings on the season's most loved brands with an extra 30% off Avec Les Filles, Karl Lagerfeld, DKNY, and more. Plus, get 15% off beauty essentials from MAC, Armani Beauty, and too many others to mention. So get to the Macy's Spring VIP sale now and shop brands you love at prices you'll love even more. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
You've heard of smart bombs, smartphones, smart cars, smart watches, and smart glasses. Now you can add smart player, giving you sports gaming strategies and information 24/7. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline. With the 2 best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, Sirius XM Channel 159.
Oh, we begin again. The best hour of your day. It is officially underway. You know what day it is. It's Friday. It's a SportsGrid Network. It's Kevin and it's Donnie. What? Usually it's just Donnie on a solo mission. Kevin is here. He hasn't worked a single day this week. That's why he's in here in the mix, getting started off, having fun. We got a good hour here. We have a really good hour ahead of us.
Yeah, I was here yesterday with you, so obviously that's wild. I went home to place the 2 most useless no chance to win wagers of my entire life in the under in Alabama BYU, followed up by the under in Duke, Arizona. Something in the water. Those teams are still knocking down 3-point shots.
Yeah, it was kind of scary. I actually saw your one tweet. You hit the under in the first half after that maniac start in the first 6 to 7 minutes, which was crazy. 51-40 at the break yesterday. Alabama and Purdue. Alabama BYU. 62-48 in that second half. I told you guys all week long, I loved Alabama in this game because the 3-point line didn't line up for BYU like it did for Alabama. And not even, as I pointed out this morning, me and Joe Ranieri on the early line saying, never my wildest dreams, I think one team would drain 25 3-point shots in a neutral site game against a quality opponent, and Alabama did that, which, again, sets the table for an unbelievable game tomorrow. But if you liked points, Kevin, in college basketball, you got it yesterday.
Yeah, you sure did. You had 4 overs, one of the games getting there, right? Or did Florida, Maryland get over the listed total pregame?
I'm looking at I just assumed 158. There was no way it was over 150.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I mean?
Right.
No way.
One of the games gets there via overtime, so kind of a close your eyes, no cap needed special.
Mm-hmm.
The incredible thing is, I actually said to you yesterday, if I lose the Bama BYU total, I'm not going to lose it close. Usually when you bet a total that big, you're like, look, I'm going to have a chance no matter what. Because I knew the game was going to be 3-point shot based, I didn't think the game was going to land 180 per se, right? Kind of situation. Now, I can't believe BYU shot like 1 of 11 from 3 in the first half, and the result was still what the result was.
Yeah.
The far more frustrating game was Duke, Arizona. Arizona could not do anything offensively except chuck threes. They just all went in. And it kept Duke pressing down. And the Duke offense has just been on an unreal heater for months now. So is it on a heater or is it just this good? I guess it's just this good. It's the best offense in the country via KenPom. And it was a rocket ship. And they opened the Bama Duke total. I'm sorry to skip ahead, but they opened the Bama Duke total at 165.5 because I saw the Gabe tweet. I went to check it across DK. DK was 166.5. FanDuel quickly moved to that. And then it was up to 172.5. It just got absolutely smashed into oblivion. What can you expect when two teams just scored 100 points each on the same floor and now meet one another?
Yeah, we're going to get to that game in a second, but this one, again, opened up 165.5, got as high as FanDuel at 174.5 this morning. I talked about, I would just automatically take the under at that price based on the stakes of the game that's coming. I understand, Joe Ranieri likes the over in that game still because, who's going to keep anybody under 100 points, which, again, does make some sense. The high got to 175.5, I want to say, at either DraftKings, one of the other ones, but it's now getting bought back a little bit. It's 173.5 now, down from the 174.5. Let's just take a look at FanDuel itself, where I say to myself, yes, well, I'll handicap it and go over it, but back-to-back games where both these teams hit 100, we've seen it play up. It should both be around 100 points. We know it doesn't work like that. It's a lot of points here. Can they get it? Yes, but thoroughly impressed yesterday because I loved Alabama minus 4.5 all week long. Came out in that game looking early, oh man, both of these teams are shooting daggers. But then it was just apparent, Alabama wasn't going to miss in that game, and they were just better athletes and could do whatever they wanted to. And the friend that I saw, a lot of people on Twitter tweeting, and they were right. BYU played a good game, scored 88 points, and got absolutely demolished. It didn't matter who Alabama played last night and what the other team's performance was. They were beating anybody. And maybe Duke's at least they got that out of their system before they play us.
Yeah, I think that's true. What I think is worrisome for Bama, Donnie. So they won the 3-point line 25-6. That is 75-18. They won the 3-point line. BYU still getting, just a touch under 90. Their interior defense is a tragedy, I feel. I know the defense grades out top 35 nationally, but we're talking about at the top end level. And Duke is going to score at them at will. The question in that game, again, just becomes the 3-point line. It almost, with the total as well, I would lean under in the game, but it's going to come down to the 3-point line because Bama's going to take 40 of them, and Duke's just going to shoot 50%. Duke just shoots 50% from three every game. I don't know if you can section off since X, but since the Illinois game, and maybe I can do it, on my own quickly because it's not that many games. Duke might be shooting 50% as a team from 3-point shots.
And it's
crazy.
Proctor only made one last night. Proctor's only going to make one through. Ooh, they might struggle a little bit. No, they dropped 100 points on Arizona. My handicap in that game wasn't the total. My handicap wasn't the side of either spot, even though I did think, leaning towards the points. 2-2, by the way, ATS for dogs opening day. As I told you, I think more dogs cover than not over this Sweet 16 and Elite 8. But Caleb Love, for me, was just this focal point for me saying, he better play well for them to even hang around. Guy drops 30-plus points in that game, and they hung around because they were down 19 points in the second half. So I just thought if he played well, there was a chance that they could hang around the point spread, if not win the game. There's no real chance of them to win the game, but he still played extremely well at that point, and still Duke was able to beat them fairly easily. Again, being up 20 points and the comeback, and it got a little bit closer at the end. I understand that, but they were impressive. You take a look at those 4 games yesterday on who was on top of the heap. Maryland got just absolutely dispatched by Florida, which I thought at the break, Florida might be in a little bit of trouble. Condon goes down with the ankle injury. I'm like, this might get interesting. No, it didn't. Second half was all Florida. The better team, clear better team all the way through. Clapped the Maryland Terrapins.
Yeah, that was so frustrating because I had Condon's points and rebounds. I bet it before I took the drive to New York. Would have been an easy one. Would have been an absolute easy one. He was so important to the game. They were getting him involved early, and just rolls the ankle. And that was tough because obviously with my totals going the way they did, I had a couple of live bets, things like that. But those going the way they did, I could have used the Condon, window walk. And he gets injured. You assume he's fine for Texas Tech. They need him for Texas Tech. I don't think there's any other way to slice it.
Ankle could blow up today. What do you think?
Yeah, it's tough. The spread went from 5.5 to 6.5. And it's one of these things. I'll say this. It's kind of there are people who put all the number ones in their bracket. I know you did. I know many did, right?
Yeah.
And I think there is a level of guttiness, actually, because everyone knows, you're not going to get all the number ones, or it's like, come on, all that chalk. So, but what I'm so annoyed about, and I think for you, Donnie, who's more of a better than a bracketer, I can't believe I didn't just play a 13-1 parlay on all of them to make the Final Four, just to be holding the ticket, knowing how close it is, knowing the way how good they are. Again, and you're 13-1, Donnie, on the 4 best teams in college basketball to be the 4 best teams in college basketball. Like, I'm annoyed at myself for that more than anything.
And by the way, we are sitting on maybe the best Sweet 16 / Elite 8 / Final Four / Final that we've ever seen talent-wise. You get all those ones to the Final Four. There's no more, as I pointed out this morning, Kevin. Oh, I can miss the early game. It stinks. George Mason is playing. You know what I mean? Like, no. Must-see TV for the Final Four all the way through. Sonny and Kevin, it's Moneyline. It's a Friday. No better way to start your weekend. And right here with us, we'll be back.
We give you expert analysis and information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Any easier and the government would ban us. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. The woman convicted of killing Tejano music legend Selena has been denied parole and will continue serving a life sentence for fatally shooting the rising young star at a Texas motel in 1995. 64-year-old Yolanda Saldivar was up for parole for the first time since killing the singer. The singer's family and Chris Perez, her widower, expressed gratitude to the Texas Board of Pardon and Paroles. A man who set fire to Tesla vehicles in Las Vegas and who painted the word resist for authorities to find at the scene has been arrested. 36-year-old Paul Kim faces charges in connection with the March 18th attack in both state and federal court in Nevada. According to authorities Thursday, Kim is now being held in custody of the federal government. In state court, Kim is facing charges of arson, possession, and an explosive device, and firing a weapon into a vehicle. He's also charged with federal unlawful possession of an unregistered firearm and arson. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames, because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster, which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available.
You don't have to listen to SportsGrid. You can always go out in the woods at night, look up, and wish on a shooting star. Or you can get the winning edge right here. And you won't find any ticks on you the next day. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Ooh, right back at it on a Friday afternoon. Did you know what happened yesterday? I was watching 3:05 Eastern PM, Yankee Stadium. Already started. What a clown show up there for the Yanks. Home run that I could have probably hit in my backyard to start the season.
Awesome.
From a catcher. Stop the
Moonshot.
for the Yanks.
Moonshot.
Yanks get the win. A little bit of struggle, though, late in that game in the 9th inning. Little Devin Williams trying to make it interesting. But that's what Major League Baseball opening day is. I watch my Philadelphia Phillies look like they just started their spring training, where it's like, hey, I haven't done anything all off season. Let me just go out against a major league pitcher and see what I can do. Like 12 Ks out of like 12 guys showing up at the plate. But they prevailed in extra innings, getting the clutch hits. Bryce Harper, another home run, which I always like this too. I guess they're always going to boo till time immemorial out there for Bryce Harper going back to Washington. Strike doesn't even look awful his first couple plate appearances. They take the starting pitcher out as a lefty, just bring in a tomato can. Dude rockets 440 right to center field, which is ooh, man, we booed this guy all game. Would have been great if we went 0 for 3 with 3 Ks and the Phillies lost. Not necessarily the sense here, but opening day is so interesting because the ride of, it's coming because it's still opening day. You can still get a lead and you'd be like, wait a second, like the Yankees, we probably got the best closer in baseball and opening day he stinks. What did we get here? So I enjoyed myself yesterday. 2-1 overall. The only game I lost was a first 5 inning under on Detroit and the Dodgers, which again blew up in the 5th inning itself. So I took that loss, but fun day overall for me. How was your opening day in baseball yesterday?
Yeah, I have too many stories. I have too many stories from a betting perspective on opening day. Most of them felt bad. I had a Cody Bellinger 1.5 total bases. Okay, fine. Right? Or not total bases, I'm sorry. 1.5 hit run RBI. So that comes in. Okay, nice, right? We get that going. Cool.
Okay.
And then I was like, what do I really like on this slate? You know what? I like the over in the Rangers. Red Sox game, I told you that yesterday.
Got hot
Crochet
early.
didn't. Yeah, except Crochet didn't have it. Yeah, they didn't hit enough on him. So it's the top of the 9th. Willie Abreu's up. He's got a home run already on him.
Oh, yeah.
2 on. And for verbatim, I go, 3-run homer does nothing for me. Sit him down. On cue, hits the 3-run homer. We're at 7. We're not scoring in the bottom of the 9th. So that game lands 7. That was a disaster because I was ready for the extra inning fun that was going to come along. Okay, fine. Then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there and I'm really focused on Mets Astros, and I'm realizing I am about to place what is the single most embarrassing wager of my entire life, which was last team to be shut out, New York Mets 19-1, and they were going to be not just the first team to be shut out, but quite literally on opening day, the absolute worst possible outcome was ready to play out. So that was my one positive note. They got to push a run across the plate. I still cannot believe Soto struck out that at-bat as opposed to walking. Hader was horrified to throw him anything good. And he just ended up swinging at bad stuff. The end of the night, and listen, it was one of those things. I'm back home. I'm having some fun. Okay, fine. I took Corbin Carroll over the 1.5 hit run RBI. And it's not going my way. It's not going my way. It's fine. Ketel Marte, though, hits a base hit. Up comes Corbin Carroll. 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. And I'm like, well, Marte's going to steal second, right? So maybe a base hit will help us. First pitch swinging Corbin Carroll. Ketel Marte jogging. We get a double. All right, well, now I need them to bring him around. Obviously, they didn't bring him around.
Because they didn't have because they didn't want to risk rounding him because they were down so much, which is sort of what you got beat up on there.
Yeah. So one of those days where, I don't know, it didn't feel like I got a lot of breaks, but at least I was able to advance the Mets' last team to be shut out into
for the 9th inning. It's like they're going to get shut out opening day. Like this is supposed to, and you said this is a fun bet. You'd be 30, 40, 50 days in, still Xing off teams. You X your own team out and be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. And how did they get shut out on opening day? Because most people aren't handicapped, Nick, on well, Kevin, you're going to go up against a good Astros team with a good bullpen and a good starting pitcher opening day. They might get shut out. They're going to walk into one somewhere at some time, which again, like the Phillies, eventually they're going to beat Washington. It's like, wait a second, they can't even get a base runner. And the guy's striking out everybody upside down to start that. But as you know, opening day, just don't go all that deep in the games. Still, Mackenzie Gore threw 93 pitches, but sooner or later he was coming out, and he did. And the Phillies, the very next inning, hit 2 absolutely missiles out of the ballpark from Schwarber and also Harper. And by the way, Schwarber opened up the season in the 4-hole yesterday with a couple base knocks. Love to see it. Trey Turner at the top of the lineup goes for an over because usually Schwarber leads off.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why would they switch that?
They had to. Yeah, exactly. I mean, not enough with that. Yes, home run is great to lead off the game, but it's ridiculous. Fat guys with power, Kevin, should be in the 4 to 5. It's what we do in baseball. We've all grown up that way.
You're not wrong. But if it's his thing, isn't it his thing? If it's how you get the best results out of him,
but how do you know that? Yeah, come on.
Right. No, you're right.
Speed. You get speed and athletic ability on bases for the big guy to come up and drive one into the seats because it's Phillies 1-0. It's better. Yeah, Phillies 3-0 in the first inning. There's a guy on base where, again, the pitcher, it's harder to throw strikes with a guy on base. That's supposed to make it harder. No, you need that. I want to see how that progresses, but from one of those, as a fan base, it's like, no, wait a second. You move Schwarber from 1-4, you get shut out against the Nats opening day. I don't like ever in that 4-hole again or 3-hole again. So they do make the changes. But I enjoyed Major League Baseball yesterday. I got to the point in the day, too, because I didn't dip my toes into the water, Kevin, of taking runs, hits, or anything. But I did tell you this yesterday. Bet365 did have the Juan Soto base hit at plus 100. And I was like, man, he doesn't even have a good matchup. I'm like, you're supposed to just take, look, it's supposed to be minus 170, it's 100. You roll with it because it's a crazy number. So I ended up taking it, and he does get the base hit. So I like that. But I was full intent of like, watch me take this. He goes 0 for 3 with 3 walks in that game because he doesn't want to swing the bat against a good pitcher. But it did work out for me in that instance. So yesterday was profitable and fun.
How about there was a boost, 20-plus strikeouts, Skeens, Crochet, Wheeler combined, 19 strikeouts.
That's just going to say that. I was like, ooh, they were right on that number. Like, if most of the people entering into opening day, there's no real handicaps. Like, hey, well, this team plays well. And like, no, you're based on spring training on stuff they're working on. Like, that Skeens game probably had to hurt because I took the under first 5 and it came in 2-1 at the end of 3 innings. But most people probably had Skeens in that game and the Pirates for a victory. Most people saw Alcantara and Skeens like, they ain't scoring any runs in that game. Game goes over the total and the Pirates lose opening day to the Marlins. People's bankrolls right now already getting sliced and diced. What we do, we got college basketball to talk about. Big 4 games tonight. Let's get the party started right here on Moneyline.
Loser is kind of a mean-spirited slur.
But it doesn't have to stick.
Tell them to listen to SportsGrid and fix it.
No, thank you. Later.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1990, U.S. President George Bush posthumously awards Jesse Owens the Congressional Gold Medal. Owens won 4 gold medals during the 1936 Olympics in Munich, Germany.
After the fanfares of the Olympic opening comes the most amazing performance by America's black streak Jesse Owens in the 100 meters. The world's most superb runner makes the others look as if they're walking.
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
New Roar University research finds unremarkably when you burn your hand on the stove, it really hurts. However, if your hand is hidden so you can't see it while it's getting burned, while you're staring at a lifelike rubber hand, it doesn't hurt much. Kids, don't try this at home, but this confusing rubber hand illusion has uncovered a complicated relationship between the human mind and pain. Maybe leading to effective new therapies for chronic discomfort. However, no information yet on the effects on the nervous system from wearing a rubber nose. Follow me at Capalbo on X, and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Sports Rage tonight.
I've said it before, March Madness, like the actual NCAA tournament, it's for amateurs. It's like New Year's Eve. Every jackass, Johnny and Sally go out on New Year's Eve, right? And, we're partiers. We go out on New Year's Eve. We go out on Halloween. Now, the real drunks are going out on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying?
It's Sports Rage Tonight with Gabe Morency. Weekdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. Winning is no accident.
You've got to be smart about it.
It takes a plan. All centered around expert analysis and trusted information.
That's what you get.
Right here. The Winning Edge. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
MLB tips again to first pitch, I guess I should say tips, college basketball, MLB, 4:10 today, Kevin. Tampa Bay and Colorado get it going, then a night shift all the way through. One of my favorite rants that I have every year, which I still do at this point right now, so let's get a little background music, why not? All right, Kev. You get excited for Major League Baseball opening day. There's a lot of baseball fans out there. I know what the reason is. I still don't accept it. Can't wait for the Yankees to play today for you. Oh, that's right. The Yankees aren't playing today. Ooh, Phillies, big win yesterday. Comeback, 9th inning, extra innings. Let's get it going day number 2. They're off again today, too. We don't, again, Kevin, live in 1939. I know we don't. And if you buy tickets for opening day, you have to understand that it's a baseball environment. There is a chance for rain out. You don't lose your money, but you don't get to go to opening day because it'll turn out to be August 2nd as the tickets that you get. I understand that. Well, you know full well buying that ticket. But why do we do this in this day and age as if the only day that Major League Baseball teams make money is opening day? Like they lose that opening day, we can't ever get it back. Meanwhile, that game was already sold out. Those tickets are turned over. Whatever parking you had will also be reimbursed. Those people who didn't show up the day for opening day will show up on August 2nd with those tickets and spend their money. It's almost the equivalent of the NFL saying, Kevin, we're going to give the Philadelphia Eagles are going to play opening weekend, bye week number 2. You're just off the next week. Like, what are we doing here? Business-wise, I know why they do it. From a fan perspective, it doesn't need to be done anymore. I'm sorry. Like, you don't need to skip days here. Like the Philadelphia Phillies today and the Washington Nationals, Kevin, 66 degrees in Washington will be the game time temperature today in sunny skies. Not playing because there may have been a rain out on opening day. I'll never understand it. I'll never agree with it.
Well, I think it's odd because it's not consistent, right? Or the teams playing today, teams where they know they won't have rain.
Tampa
Is
Bay,
that the scenario?
Toronto Dome, Miami Dome, Texas Dome, Houston Dome, Arizona Dome, San Diego, Seattle Dome, Los Angeles. Yeah, it's done on purpose.
So, but then the alternative is, unless they're maxing these teams out, like just begin the series over there. Like,
now, hold on,
the Yankees don't have to have, but again, you're gonna run into this because the opening day is gonna still have this potential.
Yeah, I'm going to it because the Phillies.
Well, when they have their home opening day, there's a day off the next day.
Yep, I'm getting mad again. Now I'm really starting to get angry because now you play Washington on Thursday, you win. Take off Friday, not Wednesday, like midweek, Kevin. You're off on a Friday, which again would be a big ballpark. Everybody's happy. You go on a Friday night, people have that as the second game of the season. Then they play obviously Saturday and Sunday. They play Monday, opening day. Then they take off Tuesday and then play the same team on Wednesday and Thursday in a 3-game set. I can't do it. I just can't do it anymore. And it's like, and also, Kevin, it's not even opening day anymore. It's the home opener.
Yeah.
Completely two different scenarios where the Phillies are telling you like, well, it's a home opener. That's not opening. Like, honestly, you know what? Maybe I'm missing the boat here if anybody's listening out there. If you have a true opening day is just a special day altogether. Like, hey, like every other year you get your opening day, let's just say on average in Major League Baseball. I bought tickets to opening day. Then I bought tickets to the home opener. Two different thought processes in my head, what actually means more. Like if you bought tickets, Kevin, to the home opener and it got rained out and they go, okay, we're going to play it again in 3 weeks. So what? You see what I mean?
But I also think, Nani, there has to be a way for Major League Baseball to roll out their opening day in a way where it actually feels like it matters. And it just doesn't. That's the problem with it. Your opening day, there isn't a person I saw defend it. Hey, opening day, 3 p.m. Yankees Brewers. What? Okay. And then just a couple of games at 4. When are the Dodgers, when are the World Series champs playing? Where they're 2-0. They're what? Yeah, they're 2-0. They already started. So are they playing tonight? Oh, yeah, they're playing. When? 7. As soon as the basketball starts? Yeah, who are they playing? Tigers. Who? What? Yeah, but at least it's on ESPN. Oh, okay. Like,
but it's Scooble. Maybe you never heard of that guy here at this point. Yeah, it's odd the way it rolls through. But like, see how you just had that reaction from Major League Baseball? It feels like we need a fan, Kevin, in the room with all 4 sports. You have like a 12-man crew. It's like, well, let me just get the fans' perspective. Hand up. Yep. I don't understand why you're putting in post-rainouts your opening week when you're trying to get the volume started here. And I'm a college basketball fan as well. It's the best time of the year. Maybe you shouldn't open up on Sweet 16 Sunday. And then the fan goes, yeah, and I'm also college basketball. Hey, college basketball, you in the corner? Why are you putting the game on a 10-15 tip when I want to watch that game and I can't now? Like, get the fan in the room at this point. My goodness. Let's talk college basketball next right here.
It's easy to get SportsGrid almost anywhere with our mobile app. So give us a break. We're not going to tap your screen for you. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. NCAA Sweet 16 action on the men's side. Thursday, top seed Duke beat Arizona, the fourth seed, 100-93 the final. Duke advances out of the East Regional to take on second seed Alabama. They beat sixth seed BYU 113-88. The top seeded Blue Devils back in the Elite Eight for a second straight year. They have a chance to advance to the Final Four for the first time since 2022. It'll be top seed Florida battling third seed Texas Tech in the Elite Eight out of the West region. The top seeded Gators beat fourth seed Maryland 87-71 last night, while the Red Raiders pulled away in overtime to beat 10th seed Arkansas 85-83. Women's Sweet 16 today. Second seed Duke battles third seed North Carolina, Regional 2 in Birmingham. The winner advances to face either top seed South Carolina or fourth seed Maryland. Regional 1 in Spokane, second seed NC State takes on third seed LSU. Top seed UCLA squares off with Ole Miss. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
How to tell if you have the winning edge. Take a sheet of paper, crumple into a ball, throw it at a trash can. Even if you miss, so long as you're listening to us, you have it. Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Hot topics, hot topics, hot topics. Come on now. It is a Friday. Radio Moneyline. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Kevin Walsh. FanDuel Sportsbook. Nice sportsbook. Treat us well. Easy question here, Kevin. For at least me. Maybe a little bit different for you. It says delete one forever. They give you 5 options. You know, sometimes like, hey, man, which food goes? Like pizza, onion rings, cheeseburgers. You get like that. I'm like, okay. Everybody has a difference of opinions there. By the way, real quick to get sidetracked, you know my guy, Jeff Nadeau, the MOC.
Yeah.
He's one of the best on Twitter at this. He puts his top 10 out there, and then people call him an idiot. And he goes, my top 10, like, that's what I think, which is always a great comeback because people are like, best movie of all time, Wicked or something like that. But no, man, Titanic, going with the wind, you idiot bum. No, it's mine. That's the question here. So it throws people off. But here's one for you. Delete one forever. There's 5 options. NFL, which means you can't have the NFL in your life. You can't watch it. You can't cheer for it. You don't have a team. Sunday afternoon, might as well be at a library at that point. It doesn't happen. NBA, music, college football, sports betting. Which one do you delete forever out of your life? Which, again, for me, it's very simple. But I'm not you're more the target audience for this because there are 5 things that you probably care about equally per se in your life.
Why is it music and not baseball? What or hockey? Explain yourself.
It's not like we'll just give you that because most people don't think it's that popular. That's a good point though. Like, why isn't it sports? Period. Like sports, like food, water. Like, what do you mean? I'm going to give out water?
I don't. It's like, what do you want? Water, air, the NBA, football, or your job?
Half a leg. What do you want over here?
I don't
understand.
understand.
Which one would you take out? NFL, NBA, music, college football, or sports betting?
I hate to say it. I'd have to be college football. I hate to say it, but it would have to be college football.
It sounds like a foreshadowing here in your life a little bit, though. You know?
can't rule it out.
Wait, sounds like it.
Wait, I just
sounds like it, man.
Man, I think just from that perspective, I probably picked right because I'm doing basketball. Imagine I would. So here's the thing: I never would have picked basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because I see NBA and like that's awful. It's what a great life I still live. Like, if the NBA, I just can't watch the NBA.
But you don't really do college football as much. Like you're such an NFL guy.
But it's football.
I know.
Like, I don't enjoy watching a random NBA game, but I will watch a big. But again, it does change in the playoffs and stuff. But for my life, I really would have no issues with like the NBA being gone out of my life. Now, here's the other thing too. Like you can change the extenuating circumstances of these, which you see a lot. It's like, and like as you get older, sometimes perspective does change. Like honestly, if somebody came to you right now and goes, Kevin, I will give you $5 million right now on the table, but we're going to just erase the NBA from your life, from your history of the NBA. You'll never know it existed and how much you enjoy it. You can never go back to watch it, but everybody around you can watch it. But like, hey, we're watching an NBA game. It doesn't even appear on the TV. You can't even like acknowledge it. $5 million for that to go out of your life. Would you take that?
I mean, it changes so much about me, about what I do. Like I know it's a hypothetical, and I'm supposed to play along, but I don't really. How am I supposed to erase the NBA? Right? Like it is so much of what we do. It is like certainly what I do. So you know, like I don't know if people realize how much our jobs dictate things like this too. Like. I'll try and pull this in. So this time of year, right? Certain on-air personalities swoop in, have no choice, and start talking college basketball. And everybody who actually knows what's going on does not respect the opinions of those people, right? Oh, it's dead or this. You know who I'm referring to, right? Nobody respects their opinion. Most people don't even want to hear what they have to say. Like the entertainment value they bring to other sports isn't even there. Let's just say they go, Donnie's mainly football, baseball. Kevin is mainly football, basketball. But at no point do they see you and I this Sunday doing the college show and think anything other than we're in good hands. These guys are on the slate. They capped this game 6 ways to Sundays. They've been following these teams, and this is going to be a great time. Because that's our jobs. I can't fathom doing this job, Donnie, where you're like, yeah, but you also don't know what the sport of basketball is. It doesn't even make sense.
But for me, like I would even up it, and I'm being honest. Like NFL, if you said today, Kevin, $10 million in cash delivered to your house by pressing this one button and never having the NFL in your life again. And it makes it worse. Like I said, like let's erase it from you. Like, you love the NFL. You can never participate again from it. Now, granted, I'm 47 years old. I'm not 27. Like, oh, wait a second. What am I going to do? Like, who knows? Hopefully I have a long way to go. But I got to tell you, like, for the NFL and what it's provided for me and just enjoyment in my life, I wouldn't take the $10 million. I'm being honest with that. Like, it's never going to happen. You can do it. But if you said like college football or sports betting, I might like, you know what? I think I can do that. Like the NFL for me, I would not take $10 million in my life to just get rid of the NFL because I can't measure in dollars, like being an Eagles fan and now they're winning Super Bowls in my whole life and it's rallied around the fall. And I love football to begin with, played it my whole life. I don't know if $10 million is enough for me to not be able to watch the NFL again the rest of my life because the enjoyment of that factor, like it's almost priceless to me in a way.
If they offered you, I'm trying to, I don't want to do a silly number, right? Sometimes I'm just a kid. Yeah. I'm just going to come up, let's just say, I don't know, $30 million. Like, what's the amount of money? No. Hold on. I'm going to give it to you a different way.
All right.
I'm going to give it to you a different way. What's the amount of money, Donnie, where you're like, I wouldn't need to work anymore? Right?
Like $10 million bucks, probably. Yeah. I'm 47. Like, it's got to last me an extra 20 years. Like, I'm already in my late 40s at this point.
So let's
pick 10 million. Like, 5 million is like, yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, don't get me wrong, but 10 is like, I can do whatever I want whenever I want. Like, then we get 30, 40, 50. I mean, I picked 10 on purpose. Like, at my age, a ton of money that I can do whatever I want. I still wouldn't get the NFL out of my life.
If they dropped you $20 million, you think, and they're like, hey, listen, you don't have to work or you can keep doing this job. You think you would still keep doing it?
What do you mean?
I'm going a completely different route. I'm not talking about you can't watch. I'm talking about, hey, listen, you're going to get the 20 million. We're doing these hypotheticals.
Yeah.
20 million.
Uh-huh.
You can go move to Florida, sunny, never see you again.
Yeah.
Or we got SportsGrid tomorrow. You still doing,
No.
you still.
I'm gone. Oh, I'm out.
You're gone?
Oh, I'm out, man. There's no doubt about it. Like, when we talk about like sacrificing and what people like, there are people that, and I didn't come right out of college and be like, hey, I'm a sports guy, and I'm not even like going against per se anybody that's done that. But I've been through I'm working long hours and I'm working at non-salaried positions that are just based on how well you do in a sales position. Where it's like, man, sometimes there's envy, a different sort of lifestyle. And then as you get to this point, it's like I still do sacrifice. Like I'm in the sports business, and I tell people in this business. And I opened up the show this morning. We're going to recap these games. Hey, Joe, I didn't see any of them. I just saw some of the highlights and got back because I have to host this show and be full of energy for 3 hours. I can't do it. Now, my perspective probably would change a little bit if 3 to 6, 2 to 6, 5 to 7, stay up all night, sleep in late, relax. I don't have that lifestyle. But no, if $20 million came there, it's like, hey, you love sports, love to talk about it. Yeah, you won't see me again. You might get a text from me out here on the SportsGrid On Demand. Like, hey, Kev. Good to see you doing good, kid. Just caught a marlin out here. Have a good day.
I think you'd do it. I just think you would do a different schedule. I think you would do it. I just think you would do a different schedule.
Would be interesting. Like if I hit the lottery, like, yeah, I'm going to keep working. After like 3 days, like, I don't know about this job anymore and how it fits me. We'll be right back. It's not on a Friday.
Oh.
You're listening to one of the last places on earth where a man can be a man and not get those looks. Welcome aboard, good sir. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Opening day baseball on Thursday. The Yankees beat the Brewers 4-2. Carlos Rodon struck out 7. The Orioles pounded the Blue Jays 12-2 in Toronto. Tyler O'Neill hit a 3-run homer, extending his major league record by homering for a 6th consecutive opening day. The Padres beat the Braves 7-4. Mackenzie Gore struck out 13 for the Nationals, but the Phillies beat Washington 7-3. The Red Sox beat the Rangers 5-2. Nathan Eovaldi had 9 strikeouts in the loss. The Guardians beat the Royals 7-4 in Kansas City. The White Sox scored an 8-1 win over the Angels in Chicago. The Astros beat the Mets 3-1. 8 strikeouts for Logan Gilbert as the Mariners beat the A's 4-2. The Dodgers nipped the Tigers 5-4. The Cardinals over the Twins 5-3 in St. Louis. The Giants beat the Reds 6-4. Paul Skeens struck out 7, but the Marlins beat the Pirates 5-4 in Miami. In Phoenix, the Cubs beat the Diamondbacks 10-6. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Spring has sprung, and so have the deals at Cold Spring Savings Event. I just got a comfy tee for just $7.99, a cute swimsuit for $19.99, 40% off patio furniture for my backyard, and so much more. So don't wait. These deals are too good to miss. Hurry over to Kohl's to save big on warm weather essentials during their Spring Savings Event today. Select styles. Offers end March 30th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
When it comes to odds on daily sporting events, it's complicated when you factor in everything from current wind speed to how hot a player's girlfriend is. But you don't have to mess with that. Just keep it here and listen. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
We're capping these games every which way to Sunday tonight for the Sweet 16. Mississippi, Michigan State, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Auburn, Purdue, and Houston. Vic Ferrari in the chat box says if you give DRS $20 million, he's definitely running around out here in these streets. And I agree. Like, gone. $20 million. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to retire. Alarm goes off 5:45. Like, man, why? I don't need to do this anymore at this point now.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't need anything to do.
You
Home
would do a
studio
different
there
schedule.
and still work? You think I would still work?
I think that you would still do like pro football today because what are you going to not cap games?
Well, the good part, the funny part you bring up about that is true because I always say, because there have been times in my life where, like, particularly when I was setting up my hoagie shops, where I had off like 6 to 8 months, and people will tell you like, "Boy, that's got to be awesome." Like you probably because I was still golfing back then, loved fishing. I'm telling you, it's like a week of playing like video games, golfing and fishing, bored out of my mind. Like I didn't want to golf every day because when I talk to people like, living for the weekend, which does make some sense. Boy, you work hard Monday through Friday. And once the weekend gets there, boy, you really appreciate it. You get to sleep in, you get to do what you want, you get to go out to eat, you get to, watch movies and hang out with the family.
Mm-hmm.
It really changes when you don't, even if you have a ton of money. Now, granted, 50, 60, 70 million bucks, you're flying on jets. Yes, that's a little bit different. I'm just talking about the average worker that's like, you know what? I really appreciate like 2 days off in a row coming up at this point. You lose that perspective with that money. It's like every day is the same. Like how many times can you buy a new bag or a new fishing pole or a four-wheeler for the backyard? It's like after 6 months, man, like I need purpose, which means a structure, which is why people get rich. I volunteer 4 days a week down at the shelter because it gives you structure. Like, yeah, I got to be down there 2 to 6, wash the dogs and help them get, checked out of facility. So I do agree with that. It might be hard to be like, yeah, I'm going away. And then like 3 days later, man, I'm bored at this point.
Yeah, it's also easier for me to say like I don't have kids. Like there's a lot of things that I'll have to do down the road where it'd be like, no, listen, like I'll find stuff to do. Don't worry about it. Like I'll get busy. I'll get busy in other areas.
Mm-hmm. The way it is. How about getting busy tonight? 4 games.
Man, what do you like?
What is your favorite? Forget it. Not handicapping. What game do you say I want to watch? Like what? Because I told you Alabama was my favorite bet game, but that was the one, even more than Duke, Arizona. I need to watch this BYU Alabama game. I think it's going to be sizzle, and it was. What's your game tonight that you go in order? Here's the top game I need to watch.
So it's the Kentucky game, but like that almost doesn't qualify. It's where I'm invested though, Donnie. Like I have my Purdue futures, right? Like I'm a Kentucky fan. The other 2 games though, like they don't jump off the page to me, but I think there'll be, spots to get in and start to feel good about those games betting wise. And, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works out. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that I just want to, I'm very interested in, something I did on Game Time before the tournament began, but the Ken Palm, the historical nature of teams who have a net rating of 30 or better, and just how far they go, how difficult it is for anyone to knock them out that doesn't meet the criteria. So far, all of those teams are still in. Duke and Alabama now will meet. They're both 30 plus. So it's one of them is going to hit their maximum road, right, before running into a 30 team. Tennessee, Houston, Auburn are the teams in action tonight. That would kind of fit the barometer. I assumed you would get one, maybe 2, maybe to be eliminated by a not 30-plus team. But so far, those teams have continued to roll. We had some scares. Florida, Houston, close game against Gonzaga, but those teams are still all here.
I lean towards yesterday could get you scared. 4-0 to the over. I think every single game today, I'd rather bet the under than the over. Every single one of them. And what I was talking about, we just got some heat here coming in. 131s, Kevin, now to 133s, Purdue, Houston. We just got some steam in that where they're pushing that over.
Can you please break that game down for me? Because I'm really struggling with the fact that I look at that game and I think Houston and under, but then realizing that is me predicting 68-56, which is incredible to think about a Purdue basketball team scoring under 60.
Here's the problem with this game for Purdue. And usually you don't get this. Well, Purdue can score on anybody. They can. Top 10 in the country in efficiency. Doesn't matter how good your defense is, they'll score. Houston, for what they do, Kevin. This play, first again, it's going to be sort of a pseudo home game for Indiana, but not in a high school gym. not in a college gym, not in a pro gym. This is going to be at a football stadium, which I do think affects at least game one, where you sort of get used to it. It's like the Final Four. You play in a big stadium. You win that Final Four game. You practice on Sunday. You're back for another game there. Same hotel, same point of path. Okay, I'm used to this place now. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know the sight lines. Houston's defense is the best in the country, which means they're going to turn you over, even though Purdue doesn't turn it over all that much. Here's the key indicators, Kevin. The 3-point line. They'll let you shoot the three, but they'll defend the hell out of it at 30%, which means you're going to be taking shots on offense with a hand in your face repeatedly from the 3-point line. Okay. Was there other ways that you can beat Houston? Houston is top 5 in the country at percentage inside the arc at defense at 44%, which means you can't shoot the open 3-point shot. They'll give it to you, but they'll defend it. You can't go down low against them. And then you say, well, usually this happens where they defend the 3-point line, Kevin, so well that you can't really go into you can go into the paint because just by the battle of attrition, that's where you get your points from. 335 out of 364 at not letting you score inside the arc is Houston. So understand this for me. Football carrier, or aircraft carrier, like airplane hangar per se, where you're playing. The best defense in the country that will turn you over, keep the pressure on, not give you a wide open 3-point shot. And if you do try to go down low, you can't score at the rim. Where are the points coming from for Purdue? Now, again, as I say that, they're great shooters. Brandon Smith can rise and fire and with a guy in his face and make 3-point shots. Good luck with that. But every time you have the basketball in a game that neither team wants to push, where Houston's defense is going to be set up, where's the points coming from for Purdue? That's my breakdown. Like, I think it's a Houston game where double-digit victory, when you know I like dogs this weekend, not in this one. I think it's the Cougars. We'll talk more basketball next right here on a Friday edition of Moneyline.
This is the place. This is where you'll get expert perspectives and sports gaming strategies 24/7. And it's free. Beat that, you cheap. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Imagine combining the exciting investment opportunity of cryptocurrencies with the power of artificial intelligence to maximize your IRA, 401k, or other investment funds. Listen, if you're looking for ways to accelerate your retirement growth, Block Trust IRA has market-leading strategies and solutions for all levels of investors, from $1,000 to millions. And they partner with Bitcoin Magazine's #1 crypto trading fund in the world to maximize your returns. Plus, their team of IRA specialists is here to help you roll over your IRA or qualified retirement account to the new world of cryptocurrency investments. So make this free call right now to set up your account and learn more.
800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. That's 800-434-5313.
Carver and Lisi.
By the way, great intro song, Matthias. I like that. That's going to be the new intro on Wednesdays with Carver and sometimes Lisi. Hey, look at this. I'm in the credits tonight. I made it to the big time. Look at this.
We had a discussion about this last night.
Yeah, I was watching. I got a lot of things going on, Joe. Got a lot of things going on.
I don't understand what you're upset about. You're not on the show that night.
It's Carver and Lisi with Mike Carver and Joe Lisi. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. On the SportsGrid Radio Network. Think of us as your cool roommate that has this innate gift of somehow always picking winners and never bugs you about doing the dishes or paying rent. Sports gaming strategies and information 24/7. Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Another book not to be named on the show right now, Kevin. Someone's asking a question. There's no need names to be revealed. It said, insane. We're going to see a dog win tonight? And the comment is, please, Purdue. That was the only comment.
That was
so that
it?
means They need Purdue in the worst way possible as a dog to get this game done. Maybe they just heard me breaking down that, because if you're looking at Purdue and you're just taking the points, like, wow, slower game down, both sides, real effective offense, just play with Houston. And I'm telling you right now, this isn't a game where Purdue really can function all that well. Am I saying, it's a guarantee? Do I like it as much as I did Alabama, BYU? No, I don't. But I do like Houston. And that's still a big number in a game on a neutral court with all Purdue fans. I just think Houston matches up so damn well. By the way, same thing with Tennessee, Kevin, in the games tonight. We usually only talk Tennessee plays great defense. Houston plays really good defense. Their offenses are damn good to go along with those ridiculous defenses.
They are. It overshadows it, right? It's the inverse of Alabama, except those offenses are better than Bama's defenses. So it gets lost in the shuffle. I will say, as it pertains to, by the way, I don't know, I lost power in the house, so I wasn't able to talk on Donnie's Houston Purdue breakdown. But I will say for the Tennessee-Kentucky game, I saw a stat. I didn't see a stat. I made a stat.
Yes.
I found out a stat.
What is it? Give me it.
And I'm curious what your takeaway would be from it. Kentucky this season against teams, Donnie, who have a top 10 defense. 5 games. 5-0 record.
It's good.
It's really good.
Yes.
My incredible reaction, though, to seeing that was, there's no way they go 6-0.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thought process that I beat on all the time is, man, I already beat them twice. How can they beat them 3 times in a row? So I did my whole thing, little brother, you have a little brother when you guys are little, you beat him up 2 times in a row. Man, I don't know if I can beat him a third. No, you clown him a 3rd time in a row.
Yeah,
hey, I
just
beat my brother in Madden 2 games. I don't know if I can beat him 3 in a row. No, you can clown him 3 in a row. High school basketball. We beat that team twice in conference play. Now we see them in the state playoffs. I don't know if we could beat them a third. No, you look forward to, because you already beat them twice. So I always remove that from the equation. But again, that Kentucky-Tennessee game played in that big-ass dome. And you look at the defenses, both of them love to stop the 3-point shot. I should say defend it, but give it up. I just look at that as a footprint. If the 3-point shots are going down, then so be it. But if I have 2 teams that are elite defenders of the 3-point line, when I don't think the sight lines are going to be that great, yesterday, all over. It's today, I have all unders as a feeling today. I just do. I think Tennessee beat Kentucky too, and covers.
Listen, they might. I like Kentucky in the game. I like Houston, but I'm still trying to figure it out. Michigan State, Ole Miss is beating me up. That might be the one total over I like. I like under in the Auburn-Michigan game. The Auburn offense still isn't right. And I don't know if Michigan's the team you get right against on that side of the ball. So that makes it a little bit tricky. A
couple people popping off in the chat box here asking me if I was a gamer, what my games were, Kevin, back in the day. So I texted back in there. I love Battlefield Modern Combat. Was one of my favorite series, and Call of Duty there at that point. So that's one vice I wish I never had to give up, because of the absolute enjoyment. It almost is like a gambling, addictive. If you like alcohol, if you like smoking weed or whatever, it was like that to me. I needed that every day for 4 to 5 hours a day religiously, and I couldn't think of going a day without gaming. My days used to be, I didn't have to wake up way back, when I was working at a mortgage company, where I told you I worked West Coast hours. I get up at 10:30. Didn't have to be in the next day till 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. I would play till the sun came up when I came home, and have no problem getting 5, 6, 7 hours of sleep and then going into work. But when I was at work, I couldn't wait to get home and play games at night. Didn't
you leave in the middle of shifts to go get a Madden game in?
Yes, because when I got my first place, which was a condo in Mount Laurel, which was only about a mile away from my work. If I had to go to the bathroom, I would just leave and go home. If I just needed a break, I would go home. If I wanted to get a game of Madden in the middle of my shift, I would go home and play an online game of Madden, and then just come back to work. Where were you? I went out and got something to eat or something like that. Or I would just hit a bucket of golf balls in the middle of the day, because we had a driving range right down the street. That was me. Give me a sale or two. Get me out of this building, man. I don't, you know what I mean? I want to play a game of Madden in the middle of the day with the Green Bay Packers running I'm on green on 4 wides on deep routes right down the middle of the field, lofted up to them. That's what I was doing online. Boy, when we first got connection where you can go high-speed internet, nobody wanted to go to work. Crazy time. Thanks for tuning on a Friday edition of Moneyline. Chris behind the wheels of steel, Johnny Rightside, and Kevin Walsh. Enjoy your weekend. Make it profitable. We'll see you Monday.
It's easy to get SportsGrid almost anywhere with our mobile app.
So give us a break.
We're not going to tap your screen for you. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.